For the first time in Naira's history, it crossed the 500 mark against the dollar. Naira has been on a free fall in recent years. It's unbelievable that the Naira, which exchanged for only 60 kobo to $1 in 1972, has fallen to this level against the dollar. By 1985, the Naira was still exchanging for under 1 Naira to a dollar. After the Naira was devalued in 1986, following the hugely unpopular structural adjustment program of the IBB regime, it fell further against the dollar to about 3 Naira. From then, the Naira has never recovered. By the mid-1990s, during the Abacha years, it exchanged for 84 Naira to a dollar. The Naira's free fall has continued, and the free fall is not over yet, because it looks like the government will continue to devalue the Naira in order to achieve budgetary allocations. As Nigeria oil earnings continue to dip and the budget continues to rise, how will the government continue funding the budget? Because loans are not sustainable. In the past few years, loans have been used to fund part of the budget because of the dwindling oil revenue. But we all know that loans are not sustainable, and loan repayments now make a huge chunk of the recurrent expenditure part of the budget. So what else will the government do to fund the budget considering these factors? They might continue to devalue the Naira. That's the only option left, although it has serious repercussions on an import-dependent economy like Nigeria. If we manufacture majority of the goods in the local market even without exporting them, having the exchange rate at 1,000 to the dollar is not a problem. After all, countries like South Korea and Vietnam have their exchange rate at 1,150 won and 22,000 dong respectively to the dollar. The weaker exchange rate is good for these countries because it makes their goods cheaper abroad. But when you don't manufacture goods like these countries and you are import dependent, a high exchange rate will hurt the economy. The government might also decide to increase taxes. But tax increments do not work because it is from the same battered economy that they will raise those taxes. So who will pay? But if they decide to devalue the Naira further to about say 1,000 Naira to $1, apart from the serious inflation that it will cause on price of goods, it might force some people to start manufacturing locally instead of importing, because the cost of goods might help local manufacturers be price competitive with imported goods. Many local manufacturers face the problem of branding, like China and Taiwan faced back in the day when they started. We should endeavor to buy locally made goods. If we can trust bread that is made in Nigeria, we don't import bread. They are all baked in Nigeria. If we can trust to buy them, why not some wares or shoes, that we can use and support the local economy? We buy on an annual basis goods worth more than 8 trillion naira from China, supporting their economy, supporting their manufacturers and employment. Imagine what will happen when we cut only half of that money, when we cut just 10% of that money and push it back in the Nigerian economy. Imagine the kind of employment that will be created, Let's quickly see the top 10 imports that contribute to the high demand of the dollar in Nigeria. Number 10 on the list is lubricating oil. Lubricating oil cost 71 billion to import in the first quarter of this year. These oils are imported and remixed before they are sold locally. This wouldn't have been imported if the refineries were working. Lubricating oils are made from heavy vacuum gas oils. Considering how long Nigeria has been a world player in the oil and gas industry, we should be by now blending all these lubricating oils locally, including the base products. And talking about the refinery, you can check out the video we made about the Port Harcourt refinery. They recently awarded a $1.5 billion contract for the rehabilitation. You can see the link in the video description. Moving on to the 9th on the list is vegetable oil, edible mixtures and the likes. It cost 83 billion naira to import. Once again, we shouldn't be importing vegetable oils in whatever form, crude or refined. There are many local manufacturers of vegetable oil. Is it a matter of capacity? Are they not producing enough to saturate the market demand? Nigeria's population is huge, you know. Or are some people importing crude vegetable oil to beat the import ban on vegetable oils? Anyway, let's see number 8, which is sugarcane. It cost over 90 billion in the same quarter to import into the country. In as much as Nigeria produces about 1.5 million tons of sugarcane every year, it is still not enough for the sugar refineries, which has a combined refining capacity of 2.4 million tons between the three major players, Dangote, BUA, and Golden Sugar. Nigeria also has the largest sugar refinery in Africa. Moving on to the 7th on the list, they are motorcycles and tricycles. These are imported as completely knocked down vehicles. It cost a whopping 118 billion naira to import in the same time frame. None of the companies that assemble motorcycles and tricycles in Nigeria have taken the leap into building the engines locally. The closure of Alstom shouldn't be an excuse because aluminum billets could be imported and be used to build the engines. The story of Alstom, it's one that will bring tears to your eyes, where during the privatization process, the company was corruptly sold for peanuts by the Obasanjo administration. Anyway, that's a story for another video. If you want to hear the story, signify your interest in the comment section. If it gets traction, we'll do a video on it. Thanks. 6th on the list cost 191 billion naira to import, and they are equipment used in telecommunication industry. The explosion of this industry has increased Nigeria's GDP and has provided employment, direct and indirect, you know. So we cannot do without importing equipment for telecommunications. Number 5 on the list is gas oil, which is diesel and other derivatives like kerosene, etc. Once again, this will be completely removed from this list of imported goods that cause heavy demand on the dollar in Nigeria when the refinery starts working again. It cost 120 billion naira to import in the first quarter. Moving on to number 4, they are used cars. Of course, we know we heavily depend on used cars because new cars are too expensive for the average Joe. They cost a total of 174 billion naira to import. Number 3 is durum wheat, which costs 258 billion naira to import. Nigeria produces 60,000 metric tons of wheat annually, which is very poor compared to the market demand. The low production capacity of the farmers are a result of poor climate for cultivation, lack of mechanized farming, poor irrigation, etc. Also, durum wheat grow better in temperate regions, and they are the best wheat for noodles, you know. So unless something is done to increase wheat farming in Nigeria, the importation will continue to grow because of the growing population. It is estimated that 45% of food consumed daily in Nigeria is derived from wheat. Moving on to the second, it consists of medicines, especially antibiotics, and it costs a whopping 412 billion naira to import. We have a very strong pharmaceutical industry in Nigeria that is comparable to anywhere in the world. They just have to purchase more licenses from other companies that own the rights and that are willing to license them in order to manufacture some of these medicines locally. This will not only create more local jobs, but will reduce the demand for dollars, thereby boosting the economy. That's how it works. Whenever you are importing something, you are creating employment in that economy, you are helping pay their workers' wages. Number 1 is known. It has been number 1 for a long time, but we are all hoping that by the end of September 2022, the fuel import bill will reduce. That's what the NNPC said. They said that the first stage of the Port Harcourt refinery rehabilitation will be ready by September next year, and the refinery will be able to operate at 90% capacity. Like already said, for more detailed information, check out the video we did about the $1.5 billion contract. Also, there are feelers that Dangote refinery won't be ready next year, that they are currently experiencing some delays. The information is not yet official anyway, so take it with a grain of salt. Nigeria spent 687 billion naira in the first quarter to import petrol. In fact, the daily bill for the importation of petrol is put at $16 million. Okay, wonderful people, we hope you enjoyed the video. Push the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed, and remember to enable notification. Thanks for watching.